All right, so let's take a look at the latest release of the JavaScript API 4.18, which introduced a new way that you could consume the ArcGIS API for JavaScript to test out your applications. So if we go and check out the install and setup section of the documentation, you'll see that we have the classical way, which would be using the AMD modules via the CDN, or you could go ahead and use ES modules via NPM, which I've talked quite a bit about. Another new option is using ES modules via the CDN. Now, take note though, as noted in documentation, this approach is currently only recommended for development and prototyping. Do not do this in production. Okay, these are not optimized files. Yes, they're ESM, but they're unbuilt. And let's take a look at how you can take advantage of that for your apps. So let me go ahead and take this style sheet section here. This part has not changed, so I'll just go ahead and add my style tag in here. And what I want to do now is I've already got my view div, so I'm going to add a script tag. And for my script tag, I'm going to make it a type module. And this is going to let the browser know that I'm going to be loading some ESM modules in my applications. So what I can actually do here is I can go ahead and copy this a little bit here. Take that. And let's go ahead and put this in here. Now myself, I like to name this ArcGIS map just so I don't get any confusion with the native browser map. And let me bring the map view in here. So I'm going to import map view. This is going to be under views, map view. Awesome. So now what I can do is I can create a new map. It's going to be equal to a new ArcGIS map. I'm going to go ahead and use a base map with the topo vector. I create a new view. That view is going to take my map. It's going to have a container that's going to be to the view div. It's going to have a zoom for, that's going to center it somewhere in the LA area, -118, 34. Awesome, there we go. Let's get a little closer just for our app here. So, okay, so this is great. And like I said, we're able to load the ESM modules via CDN. The key here is that the reason that this is really only for prototyping is the fact that if we look at the network traffic, and let's look at all the JavaScript files that are going to get loaded here. You can ignore the React dev tools. That stuff's coming from the glitch. But let's go ahead and refresh this. Monitor all the JavaScript coming from arcgis.com. 421 JavaScript files, right? Look at this. It's loading every single file in here. Wow, that's a lot of files. And remember, this is ESM. This is not the built files. So when you build this with some build tools like Webpack, Rollup, Snowpack, anything, you're going to get maybe 10 files loaded, not 421. This is the reason this is not meant for production purposes. Even though it's not a lot of JavaScript, I mean, 197K of JavaScript for this map, that's not really too bad in terms of the size of a library for mapping. It's just too many files. And even though H2 can be efficient, it is not going to be well for a larger application that does something more other than display a map, for example. But this is definitely something you could use for prototyping purposes. So test out some stuff you want to do with the API using the ESM CDN. And when you're done, go ahead, put it into your build pipeline and build a production ready